yep, 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 yep.
Hello, welcome to the Finnish Football Show. Today it's our great pleasure to welcome an absolute legend of the women's game, a serial winner who's lifted 2 Bundesliga titles in her time with German giants Bayern Munich and 3 Finnish championships at FC Honka, an experienced international who played no small part in getting Helmarit to Euro 2020. Welcome to the Finnish Football Show, Tinja-Riikka Korpela.
Kiitos, thank you very much. Very good pronunciation with my name. It's not the easiest one, so well done.
I've been practicing.
And I find the biggest challenge is when there's a r sound in the middle of a word. I have to sort of bounce at it to wrap my tongue around it. But at the beginning, it's not too bad. So
maybe as I got that one so good, maybe we'll stick with Tinni from now on.
Yes, that's fine.
So Tinni, hey, Moikka, thanks for taking the time for joining us today. We got in touch with you a little while ago, just after Helmarit had qualified for Euro 2020, and I'm so pleased that we've finally found an opportunity to talk to you. And I'm also pleased that my questionable Finnish language skills didn't put you off when I saw you last weekend. So thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thank you, guys. This is I have been waiting for this, actually. Yeah, I promised a long time ago to come here, so finally we had the opportunity. Yeah. Nice. By the way, Euro 2022 is the women's.
What did I say?
I think you said 2020.
Oh, there we go.
It's a bit confusing with all the changing of numbers and playing in different years, but this is one that's
COVID.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, so I just wanted to start by saying a big congratulations for the qualification that was achieved back in February. The 2022 tournament will be your personal hat-trick of Euros following your appearances at 2009 and Euro 2013. How does it feel, Tinni, to have qualified for this latest tournament, especially after you missed out on 2017?
Yeah, it was a really big thing to qualify for the Euro. Like you said, especially when we missed the 27 editions that we have had not even close to qualify for the World Cup. So at some point I thought I have played my last Euro tournament already, but then when we started this campaign, I realized that this team has something special, and I realized that we're gonna actually go there like we did.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in the introduction, you played a massive part in the qualification, conceding only 2 goals throughout the whole campaign. Obviously, football's a team game, but as a goalkeeper, you must be immensely proud of those stats. I mean, 6 clean sheets from 8 games is quite something, and the only goals you did concede were a penalty and an own goal. So how do you feel about your own performance across the qualifying campaign?
So yeah, of course, I am proud of that as a goalkeeper. Of course, keeping the clean sheet is usually the priority for me. My goal in the games, that means we get at least 1 point, but especially in this campaign, I mean, I didn't even need to do many big saves in the games. Our defending was so solid. All the way from the strikers, they did their job, and to our back line as well. So it was almost quite easy and very comfortable to play behind that team.
Yeah, the journey to Euro 2022 started with winning the double-header against Albania, and then another big win over Cyprus. A few months ago, we spoke to another member of your Helmarit Goalkeepers Union, Paula Muluoja, and she told us that she was personally quite confident of qualification before a ball was even kicked. Can you say that you felt the same, or did your confidence grow after the initial wins?
I would say my confidence growed through the campaign. Like, of course, in the beginning of the qualification, you're always being optimistic, and it's difficult to say what's going to happen, and of course you hope for the best, but I have to say that quite soon when the campaign started and we started really well, like you said, and and we grew together as a team every camp by camp, game by game. So it was quite soon that I realized, like I said in the beginning, that this team will definitely make it to the Euros.
Yeah, I mean, after those initial wins, a decent point away to Portugal followed. In that game, Linda Salstrom scored a 90th minute equaliser. And we've mentioned before when we spoke about the road to Euro 2022 that this wasn't to be the last late goal scored by Finland in this campaign. And the mentality of your team to keep on pushing right to the final whistle was evident to see. Is that mentality to dig deep something that you guys have worked on, or does it come naturally to players like yourself at the top of their game?
Well, definitely this is something new. I wouldn't say that it's typical Finland that we score this kind of late goals, but I mean, now it is, I guess. But I think it tells a lot about this team. We never give up. We always fight until the end, and even more if necessary. And of course, we got that important equalizer goal in the Portugal away game, and we were so disappointed after the game, because we wanted to win that game. But then later on, we realized that actually that 1 point was so crucial and important. So that helped us in the games later on, even though we were struggling in some games and we couldn't score, and the opponent was pushing attacks against us. But we know that, it's as long as there's any minutes or even any seconds left in the time, so we always have a chance. And so I guess now it is a new Finnish thing to.
Yeah, it's a new phenomenon for Finland to be scoring those late goals, and it's really good to see. I mean,
it's a good habit to get into, isn't it, Keke?
It certainly is. Yeah.
Yeah, we have been laughing with the girls. Like it's better to do the goal just in the end, so the other team doesn't have any more time to do anything else with it.
That's it. I mean, after that great Portugal away game, we had to wait the best part of a year to resume the campaign. And then there were two crucial wins over Scotland. Those came to putting us within touching distance of the tournament. The away game particular sticks in the memory with another late goal coming as Amanda Rantanen scored in spectacular fashion. I think it's fair to say that the Scotland goalie would have felt pretty bad after, first of all, her indecision, and then her little slip allowed Amanda the time she needed to get her shot away. And then the way the ball made it into the back of the net was just absolutely crazy. I mean, what was your overriding emotion, Tinni, as you watched from the other end of the pitch? As a goalie yourself, can you have any sympathy for your counterpart seeing that goal at the back of the net?
No, sorry, no sympathy this time for the goalkeeper, for goalkeeper, Scottish goalkeeper. But I remember Scotland was having quite a good pressure on us in the end, and they were in our box, and we were just hoping the referee to blow the whistle and to get 1 point that sounded very good at that point, and to get a away point from Scotland. But then I saw, okay, Amanda is 1 against 1 with the goalkeeper, and okay, we can actually win this game. But I think I couldn't believe what I'm seeing when the ball actually went to the goal. Like I was like, is this really happening? But it was, and won't forget that goal for sure, never ever.
For those that are listening, Keke just wanted to remind that this is the one where there was a shot that then deflected back off of Amanda Rantanen's face before going into the back of the net. We have talked about this fairly regularly over the last year, but just for anyone listening who doesn't remember.
We're calling it a header, by the way.
Well, it's all part of the head, isn't it?
No, that's it.
It was a very good header, like from high to the low, like we say.
Yes.
That's it, yeah. If you head it down, you can't go wrong. Yeah. That's it.
It's also interesting to hear that this goalkeepers union doesn't stretch as far north as Scotland. Or maybe it's within your own, it's a union within your own country, players.
It is definitely. I mean, our goalkeeper trio in the national team has been so good, and it's like I said, it's a team effort, and I feel we are a team inside the team. Like we are sticking together, and Paula and Anna has been supporting me so well, and I know it's tough for them not to get so many games, but I try to cheer them as well, and I know it's hard, but it's in this team everyone wants to be in part, no matter if you play or not. Of course everyone wants to play, that's obvious, but unfortunately that's not possible. But it's so important that we have two other good goalkeepers, and I know I can always count on them, and no matter what happens, so any one of us can play a very good level.
Yeah. After that crazy Scotland game, there was another resilient and aggressive defensive performance that came in the Portugal home game, and yet another late goal from Linda Sahlstrom, and that goal finally cemented your place at Euro 2022. The scenes at the end of that game were absolutely amazing. As you said, it's a squad game, and the whole squad and all of the staff, they all pretty much ran onto the pitch as Linda's lob shot hit the back of the net, and the celebrations on the pitch at the final whistle were absolutely fantastic. I mean, can you try, Tinni, please, to just sum up your feelings from that evening, knowing that lob shot from Linda had made you guys qualify with a game to spare?
Yeah, I remember that day very well. Like all the way from the morning when I woke up, I felt like, okay, this is it. Today we are gonna take the spot to the Euros, even though we had still one match to go and we didn't even need to win. But I knew that, like, I had such a good feeling. The camp was so good, and it was a pity that there was no audience in that game because of the COVID rules, but still there was some people actually cheering outside the stadium at the Olympic Stadium rocks, So they were at the second half. They were behind me, and I could hear them. And when Linda scored, I turned to them, and I feel like I celebrated with them. So I got the connection to the fans, which was so cool, and that actually some people went there to watch the game, and even though in the middle of the winter in Finland, but it was something, such a special night.
We focused on a few interesting occurrences of fans going outside of games and finding innovative ways to watch a game. I myself watched about a third of a game. I mean, I was there for the whole match, but I could only see about a third of the pitch. When one
Were
of
you there?
This was SJK, one of their first. Was it HIFK? The first Veikkausliiga game of the season at home, and it was ridiculous. We wanted to cheer for the team, but at half time I realised that I'm a 47-year-old man. I've probably got better things to do with my life than partly watching a game. But yeah, the fans just want to be there, and even in spirit to cheer you on.
Yeah, it's so great that you heard those guys who were outside cheering you guys on, and that you were able to sort of give them a scream back when you saw that goal go in. I'm sure they heard it from out there on the rocks. It must have been absolutely amazing. I mean, you secured your place with that game to spare, but the way that you guys went to put Cyprus to the sword in the final group game really shows your professionalism and your relentlessness. I mean, was there ever a chance of you guys taking it easy or taking your foot off the gas in that final game? Or is that something that yourselves as players and your staff would just not allow?
Well, of course we took our foot a little bit from the gas. I mean, we were already at the Euros. We had such a good night, and quite easy though. Everyone went to bed early. We were some players were having even training next morning. I mean, that was our kind of way to celebrate. I mean, we were tired from the game, but then we went to Cyprus, and everyone were like easy, chilled, and but we wanted to play that game and play that with a good intensity. And of course, that was also the first match of our preparation for the Euros. So it's going to be big competition with the spots in the team. So yeah, everyone wanted to show their best, and of course we wanted to end the campaign in a good way, to win and to keep the clean sheet again. So it was no doubt that we wouldn't take that game seriously.
No, it really goes to show your professionalism, and it's something really to be upheld. It's amazing the way that you guys went about your business.
There's a momentum as well, though, isn't there, to be carried into now these World Cup qualifiers. It's interesting to be playing qualifiers for the next competition before this one's even finished, but the team had to keep that going too.
Yeah, this is something special, definitely, to play World Cup qualifications now before the Euros, but at the same time, it's really good to get good like real games at this point. Usually it would be only some friendlies, and that's, like we all know, it's different when we're actually playing for the 3 points. So it's something different, but I think it's just a good thing to have these qualification games, to prepare us for the Euros.
Yeah, it keeps that real momentum going.
It does.
It does.
If we can talk a bit about your own personal story now, Tinni, you were born in Oulu in the 1980s. I mean, fans now are obviously aware of AC Oulu in Veikkausliiga, but AC Oulu grew out of a merger of a few clubs, one of which I believe was Oulun Luisteen Seura, which is where you started playing. But can you tell us when and how your passion for football first began?
Quite early, I would say. As long as I remember, there has been footballs and all kind of balls around me, and of course both of my older brothers played football when they were younger, and my dad was coaching. So of course we were and we are a sport family, and also my mom and sister, they haven't played football but some other sports, and like to watch football a lot. So as long as I remember, there has been like balls around me at home. So I have been pretty much as soon as I started to walk, I guess I've been kicking and running with the ball. And I was 6 when I started to play in a team. Like I said, my dad was coaching, and he was coaching a boys team of that age. So I joined that team. At the time in Oulu, there wasn't any girls team at my age. So that's why I started to play with the boys, which I think has been a really good thing. I played 2 years with the boys, and then we started to have some other girls in that team. So then I think it was my dad who decided to have that girls team as well, and he went to coach that team. So 2 years with boys, and then we started to have the girls team in Oulu. Oulun Luisteen Seura, yes, also.
It's a pretty familiar story, actually, because when we spoke with Paula, she said something similar. She was playing with the boys, and then her mother said, "Oh, this isn't good enough. We need to get a girls team going." So her mother started a girls team. So it's really fascinating that your parents have been so supportive of you guys, and like basically started clubs so that you can continue doing what you love. It's really, really fascinating. I think when we get to 2004, you were around 18 years old, and you moved to Turku and started playing with Sporting Club Raisio. Was your move south purely for football reasons, or did you move to study and then join a local football club?
No, it was purely football reasons. So at the time I played in the women's first division in Oulu, and I had been debuting in the youth national team with Finland under 17s, under 19s, and I knew that if if and when I actually want to put some effort in football, so I need to unfortunately leave Oulu to go to some city that has a team at the highest level in SM-sarja at the time. What was it called? The highest league in Finland. So then it was Marko Saloranta was coaching SC Raisio at the time, and they needed a goalkeeper because Minna Meriluoto, who quite many of you may be familiar, she used to play in SC Raisio, and she went to FC United Pietarsaari. So Marko was calling, hey, we need a goalkeeper. I've seen your games in the first division and in the youth national team. So would you be willing to move to Turku and play for Raisio? And I was right away, yes, I want to do this. Like, I was in the middle of high school in Oulu, so I needed to change the school to Turku and continue my high school there. But yeah, it was a good times, good memories of that 1 year in Raisio.
Yeah, I mean, that's it really shows that you were committed to your game, to sort of pack your bags at such a young age and head all that way. I mean, you couldn't really get further away, could you, from Oulu to Turku? It's there's not too much further you could have gone and stayed in the country. So I mean, it really shows that you were pursuing that dream. I think there was some financial problems in Raisio, and around 2006 the club folded, but you then signed for FC Honka in Espoo, and it was there that you achieved a hat-trick of Naistenliiga titles. What can you tell us about this time in your career, and were you already thinking about moving abroad to play football at this time?
I wouldn't say I was thinking about too much about going outside Finland, because it was of course, first of all, it was a big step from Oulu to Turku, like you said, the other side of the country. That felt such a long distance at the time, to be away from your parents, your home, for the first time. And then, Marko Saloranta went to FC Honka to coach, and he wanted some players to come with him, like myself. So I knew that, okay, Honka is a bigger club in Finland, and like you said, Raisio already had some financial problems. So I thought I need to leave. I want to leave to play for this big club in Finland, and actually to try to achieve something else than just taking part of the games.
Yeah,
as it unfortunately was more in Raisio, when we weren't at the top of the league at all, top of the table. So, but yeah, that was very crucial times, I would say, now when I think about it in my career. I mean, at the same time, 2007, I also played my first match with the women's national team. And then I started to realize that, okay, I can actually do pretty well if I want to put all in, and if I'm willing to do all that hard work and sacrifice. So that was an important time. We had such a good team in Honka those 4 years that I was there. Of course, Marko's role as a coach was also very big, and during those 4 years, I feel like I developed to a next level, kind of, in both as an athlete and as a person as well. I mean, I moved to Helsinki, to the biggest city in Finland, that I needed to take responsibility of myself and what do I do also outside football. I was graduated from the high school, so that was the time that I decided that I'm not gonna even think about any studies or anything. It's gonna be football that I'm gonna be focused from now on.
Yeah, wow, it's such a cool story, and as I said, your 4 years in Espoo returned you a hat trick of Naistenliiga titles. It's certainly something something cool to have in your trophy cabinet. But a move abroad certainly did come when you signed for Norwegian club Koltburn for the 2010 season. I think I'm correct in saying that you achieved 2 consecutive third-place top-serien finishes with the club. Was the move to the Norwegian League a noticeable step up for you after your years in Finland?
It was, yeah. I was already 23 years old. I mean, I wasn't that young anymore, and I also heard some people saying like, yeah, you should leave, and already before that. But we had such a good team in Honka, and our trainings every day was so good. So I felt I didn't need to leave any earlier, and I think that was a good point for me to leave. Then I was actually ready to take a big role in this club in Norway, and like I did, and I was like kind of ready right away. I mean, never you're ready, especially when you're only 23. But I mean, I wasn't like a junior player who tries to go to play outside in Finland and let's see what's going to happen. I was like, I'm going to take this number 1 goalkeeper spot, and I'm going to do everything that this team will do well. And yeah, like you said, we were third 2 times in a row, which was quite a big surprise, because we were ranked at, I don't know, 5th, 7th, 7th, something like that. So that of course helped me for my next move, which was Lillestrøm, also in Norway, the even bigger club. And then we ended up winning the Norwegian League in 2012 with Lillestrøm. So very, very good memories from Norway.
Yeah, that 2012 season, you as you said, you added a Norwegian Toppserien title to your 3 Finnish titles, and you conceded just 17 league goals across a 22-game season. You must have felt that you developed as a goalkeeper from your time in Norway, and then a move to Sweden came in 2013 when you joined previous Damallsvenskan champions Tyresö FF. The club were a major player in the women's game at that time, and it features in the Women's UEFA Champions League, with you yourself being present on the bench for the 2014 final, which saw your club narrowly miss out losing to Germans Wolfsburg 4-3. First of all, Tinni, can I ask, was it an easy decision to move to Sweden? And did you feel that was the Damallsvenskan a step up in terms of quality of the league?
Yeah, definitely. It was myself that I started to look for some other options after 2 very good years in Lillestrøm. But I felt like Swedish league at the moment was one of the best, if not the best, in the Europe at that time. Obviously, everyone knows Marta played there in Tyresö, Megan Klingenberg, Christian Press, other Brazilians and American and Swedish national team players. So I contacted Tyresö by myself. I knew that they were doing well in the Champions League, and my contract was ending in Lillestrøm, and I felt now it's a good time to take the next step. And I signed 2 years with Tyresö, but everyone knows what happens there. The club got bankrupt after 5 months, and luckily we made it to the Champions League final, but unfortunately lost that one. But that was a very memorable 5-6 months for sure.
Yeah, as you said there, the situation at Tyresö was sadly, that there was a financial problem again, I believe, and they had to withdraw their status in Damallsvenskan, but it didn't personally hold you back after you became a free agent because of that situation. You signed for Bayern Munich in Germany. I mean, that must have been an amazing feeling to join one of the powerhouse clubs of European football. I mean, for those who watch the men's game, Bayern Munich is obviously a household name and a club of some pedigree. And I also read that they've been at the forefront of the women's game in Germany, even before the DFB officially recognised women's football. How was the women's team there when you joined in 2014? And how was the standard in Frauen Bundesliga compared to the leagues in the Nordic countries?
Yeah, the team was quite new, to be fair. I mean, there was many of us new players in that season, 2014, 2015, and they were kind of building up something new, building a new team, and that Bayern wasn't that big name in women's football yet at the time. I mean, they hadn't won the Bundesliga since 76 or something like that. So they haven't done that well, that what they were hoping for, and that's why they were recruiting new players. And yeah, I was very lucky, of course, to get a new team right away after Tyresö got bankrupt, because obviously many players were in troubles. They had long contracts, and suddenly the club is saying that, yeah, you all need to find a new club, unfortunately. But yeah, I was lucky that Bayern was actually already, when I was still in Norway, they were showing some interest and wanting me to go there, and then right away when it was obvious that I need to leave, so they contacted me, and right away also I wanted to go there. But yeah, the team was like, I think no one knew what it's gonna be the first season, because yeah, of course we had many good new players, but still Wolfsburg, Frankfurt, and Potsdam had been the clearly the best team in Bundesliga, and I think it was maybe for ourselves as well a little bit surprised that we won the Bundesliga already at the first season.
There's no guarantees that a team will gel together, is there, in that first season, just because they're all top players?
Yeah, it's not it wasn't easy, of course, but I mean, the style in Germany, I really like it, how they wanted the team to feel as a family, like all the way from the beginning, from the preseason. It's so obvious, like how you take the new players in, and the coach is encouraging everyone to be open to each other and like get to know your teammates outside the pitch as well. And like we were having some long preseason training camps in Austria, for example, and spending a lot of time together, like putting a lot of effort on that this is going to be a team, not just a group of players. And I really think that was one key thing that we won the Bundesliga already on the first season, and then again next season for the second time.
Yeah, when I look back at some of the photos of you in that Bayern Munich side, you've always got a big smile on your face, and you're always there with your teammates, whatever you're doing. It looks like, as you said, that the team spirit there was something really special. And as you said, you became a Frauen Bundesliga winner twice over. It's pretty cool thing to hang in your trophy cabinet. It's kind of filling up by now, but yeah, it's really nice. I think you ended up playing over 50 games for the Bayern Munich, and then after that you returned to Norway. You signed with Vålerenga.
Vålerenga, yes.
Vålerenga, sorry. The Oslo club had finished the previous season 7th in the league, but in your first year you helped the club improve on this by one place, and also achieved the quarter-final in the cup. In your second season, you added a league runners-up silver medal and a cup runners-up medal to your trophy cabinet. And I think it's fair to say that despite these achievements, you may not have been playing as regularly as you would have liked. Was that simply down to squad rotation from the coach at the time, or how do you reflect on that time in Oslo?
Yeah, that was quite a big disappointing the whole first year. I mean, we had a big expectations as a club, and of course myself, I had a big expectations on what I want to bring into the team, and I was of course a big signing for them, and had the pressure, and I wanted to feel that those people's expectations, and of course myself's expectations. But quite soon, when the league started, we didn't play good at all. we didn't win games. I wasn't happy with my own games, and then in the middle of the season I broke my arm. Actually, it was our own captain who kicked my arm broken at the training. So that year was just quite a big disappointment, but still I wanted to stay there for the next year, and I wanted to show everyone and show myself, and that I can do better. We can do so much better, because I believed in that team. That was big team in traditional club in Norway who was putting effort on women's football finally. So it was a good place to be, and facilities were top, nice stadium, and everything was good. So I wanted to stay there, but then our other goalkeeper was having good preseason, and the coach ended up playing her, and I can't blame the coach, because the other goalkeeper played well, and we started to win more games, and like you said, that season we end up being the second, but actually I haven't got that medal. I haven't got the cup gold medal. I left in the middle of the season to Everton. I got an interesting call from Willie Kirks saying that they would need a goalkeeper. So I decided to leave at that time. But I thought this is an offer that I can't say no to.
Yeah, so as you said, your European tour continued, and then when you signed for Everton in the English Women's Super League. So was it an easy decision to move to England, and did you need to adapt your game at all to suit the English style of play?
It was quite easy decision in the end. I mean, of course, like I said, I was really committed to Vålerenga and our goals, and showing everyone that we can do so much better than what the first season was. But then again, having the opportunity to play in England, in the home of football, and in the big club like Everton, so I thought I can't say no to this. So this pretty soon I noticed that the English style and way to live and breathe football is definitely something else to Scandinavia, for example. But I loved it from the beginning right away. I mean, that's how it should be. Like everyone are so passionate about football. Everyone have their own favorite team, and you stick with that no matter what your friend says, no matter even where you play yourself. Like, I mean, that was a surprise for me. I was playing in Everton, and some of the girls were madly Liverpool supporters. I mean, and I was like, what is this? But they were like, yeah, it's something totally different. But I love it.
Yeah, you had some fantastic games for Everton, but one that must stick out as special for you is the 1-0 win over city rivals Liverpool in the first ever WSL Merseyside derby to be played at Anfield. You pulled off some amazing saves in that game. Can you tell us how it felt to be playing in a packed Anfield Stadium, one of the world's most famous old stadiums, in one of the world's most famous derby games, and to come away with the win? How did that feel, Tinni?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the best memories that I have from football. You could feel it already weeks before the games, when we knew that it's going to be played at the Anfield. Like, it was something special for the local players, of course. And I tried to kind of get into that feeling and to imagine what it means for them. And of course, it was a big thing for our foreign players as well. Everyone knows Anfield Road Stadium, like, worldwide, and like you said, to win that game and keep a clean sheet was, of course, a dream come true.
Well, many Everton goalkeepers do that in their career.
Yeah.
I think you made 11 appearances in your first season, and the Toffees finished in the top 6. The next season you were you were sharing the goalkeeping duties with Sandy McIver. How was the rivalry between you two, and did you push each other in training to become better keepers every single day when you were out there with Sandy on the training pitch?
We did push each other, definitely, and I think that's only a good thing. I mean, every goalkeeper should have that. I mean, that makes you to push to your limits and even more. And that personally, that's the way I like it. That it's not obvious who is playing. That you need to show it every single day at the trainings and at the games that you get. And was very good time. I feel like I was being healthy and fit the whole season, even though I didn't play that much. But to have those good trainings every single day with a good squad that we had in Everton and very good goalkeeper coach Ian McCaldon. Neil Moore was there my first season, but then Ian McCaldon second year. So I learned a lot from those two guys, and I think that helped me in the national team games as well, and with this Euro campaign that we had, and that even though I wasn't playing that much in Everton, but still good trainings every day, quality in your everyday.
Yes. As you said earlier, the goalkeepers union is a really interesting dynamic. It's one that really interests me, and you touched on it there with Sandy at Everton, and then you also mentioned before the three of you guys, Paula Muluoja and Anna Tamminen in Helmarit. I mean, is it truly a relationship of support, or is there some rivalry there? I mean, and how does the dynamic at international level differ to the goalkeeper dynamic at club level? Can you see any difference there?
There is difference for sure. I mean, in Helmarit, it is something different that I personally haven't had anywhere else. I mean, we are pushing each other, but still it's like I feel everyone knows their roles pretty well, and it's we are supporting each other so well, and everyone knows that in Helmarit we don't have that big names, but you know, the team spirit can actually be something that differentiates us from other top teams in Europe. So I need to say that it's the supporting atmosphere in Helmarit that we have in the whole team, and especially among the goalkeepers. It's something that I'm very grateful for, and haven't had that anywhere else.
So you Tinni, you're now at Tottenham Hotspur, having stayed in England. I mean, are you pleased to have stayed in England in the WSL after your seasons with Everton? And does it maybe kind of help to be based here in England ahead of Euro 2022, considering that it will be played here?
Yeah, absolutely. My number one priority was to stay in England. I really like the English style, like I said, living and breathing football, and also the Women's Super League is so good at the moment, and it's getting only better and better, and with all these financial helps from Sky and BBC, for example, these big TV deals that helps the teams a lot to get more good players, to get better facilities. So I absolutely wanted to stay here, and not the least because the Euros are here as well. So I've noticed the football fever that is here in the country.
Yes,
I was wondering, was there? You've been in the UK a few years now, but when you came to move clubs, was there any effects of Brexit for you? Obviously, you're already there, but was that anything that was ever mentioned? Because we've seen with some of the Finnish players moving to Scotland this year that it's sort of slowed them down and taken a bit of time to move.
Yeah, definitely. It was good timing for me to come here before all this Brexit happened, I mean, now it would be more difficult, and that was also one reason I wanted to stay here, because I thought if I leave now, it's going to be impossible to ever come back, basically, because of the Brexit. But yeah, luckily for me, it hasn't affected basically at any way. Only in the summer I was having some issues and delays in my pre-settled status that we all needed to apply to. So that's why I missed the first 2 weeks of our pre-season, but all good now. That was the only thing.
No, it's interesting. You hear these stories of in many different walks of life, and somehow you just think that football will sort it out, but there's still a process that needs to be worked through.
Yeah, it's you know, you guys are our heroes, but it's your job at the end of the day. So I guess that industry has to abide by the same rules as any other industry, I guess. But your Spurs side are currently sitting second in the league, level on points with your great rivals Arsenal. You've had 4 wins from 4, so it's an exciting time for you to be at the club. You made your debut on the opening day of the season against Birmingham at the brand new Spurs Stadium. How special was that for you, Tinni, and how was it to play in front of the fans in that super modern stadium there at Tottenham Hotspur?
It was such a nice day. I mean, the stadium is fantastic. Like I wish we could play there every single game. It's probably the nicest stadium I've ever played on. To get the fans back after a long season last season with no fans at all, there was almost 5,000 people cheering for us. Getting my first match with Spurs and getting the win, that was a very, very nice day for sure. Yeah.
How integrated are the men's and women's teams at Spurs? And this is kind of fresh in my mind. I tell everyone almost every show that I'm a Wimbledon fan back in the UK. I'm from the southwest part of London, and the Wimbledon team have just appointed a media officer specifically for the women's team, and they've just opened their new stadium there, and there's talk that the women's team will come and play, if not all, then some of their games at the new Plough Lane Stadium. I don't think that the teams are integrated so closely when it comes to training, but what about Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah, well, first of all, that sounds really nice with Wimbledon that you said. I hadn't heard about that, but that sounds very good. Well, we are training at the same facilities, same Tottenham Hotspur training center, really good facilities. They're actually building a whole new building for us for the women's team with all the gyms and meeting rooms and canteens and everything. Unfortunately, that's not yet ready, but that's going to be so nice, I think. On daily basis, we don't see each other. I mean, the women's team and the men's teams, they're a little bit on the other side of the big training ground that there is. But yeah, just the fact that its daily facilities are the same. Of course, our home stadium isn't unfortunately as nice as theirs, but still the Hive is nice stadium, and the pitch was very good, at least in the first game that we played there.
But the training facilities is kind of, you hear this sometimes from footballers that, you know, if there are bad training facilities, that's kind of where you do most of your work. You're there every day of the week. Going to a nice stadium to play is great, but you're only there once or twice a month. So having that is something. It's a move in the right direction anyway. And the Hive isn't so old either, is it?
No, it's I don't know how old it is, but it's definitely a good stadium, and I think some teams for the men's Euros were training there, so that means that it's a good level of quality, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, you guys at Spurs, ladies, you pay the majority of your home games at the Hive, and I was there last weekend for your game against Reading. I arrived nice and early with my kids, and it was great to watch you warming up, Tinny, with your goalkeeper partner there, Rebecca Spencer. On a personal note, I'd like to say a big thank you for how you took the time to speak to my kids after the game. They were a little bit starstruck to be speaking to you, because they know how much of a legend you are. And if I'm completely honest, I was a little bit starstruck as well. I hope my mumblings in broken Finnish weren't too difficult for you to understand.
No, my pleasure. No worries. It was very, very nice to see a Finnish flag at the stadium, and it was so nice to catch up with you guys. So thanks for coming.
No,
you this is the man that's held Tim Sparv by the thigh, and you were starstruck last week.
Yeah, I certainly was. It was it was great. I mean, the way that all the Spurs players interact with the crowd after the game was really fantastic. But yeah, it was nice to practice my Finnish language skills on someone of such high status. And you seem to know what I was talking about, Tinny. So it was really encouraging.
Yeah, you spoke really good Finnish. I was impressed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Not the easiest language in the world at all.
So just getting back to the football. I mean, the Hive is, as you said, it's a fantastic stadium. There was a really decent crowd at the Reading game, and I would urge any of our listeners who are able to get themselves along to a WSL game, or anyone listening in Finland, get yourself along to a Kansallinen Liiga game in Finland next season to support the continued growth of the women's game. But back to you, Tinny, and Tottenham. Are you pushing Spencer in training and hoping to take that number 1 jersey from her anytime soon?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I knew what it's going to be when I signed here. Like, I knew that they have a good goalkeeper, good and experienced goalkeeper here already, but still they wanted to have me, and I knew that it's going to be a rotation this year. And I'm just focused, keeping myself healthy, keeping myself available for the team whenever they need me, whenever the team needs me. I mean, of course, now we have started the season with four wins. Becky played really good game against Man City, for example. So it's totally understandable that you don't change the goalkeeper at that point. But like I said, we are having a really good relationship at the trainings and pushing each other. And I mean, it helps that we both are experienced, and we know that everything can change quickly. So we both need to stay ready and whenever we are needed.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly hope to see you to grab that jersey sometime soon. But if we can talk for a little while now, just about Helmarit again. As you said, you made your debut. I think it was around 2007, and you've been pretty much first choice since 2009 when Finland hosted the Women's European Championships. Firstly, can you try to describe to us how it feels to play for your country and captain your country? And secondly, how fondly do you look back on those 2009 Euros and the quarter-final place that you guys achieved?
Yeah, well, if I start with the home Euros 2009, probably the best memories so far that I have, and to have that big tournament at home in Finland. And I was still quite young at that age, at that time, 23. So it was a big thing for me also to get known a little bit more. And like I said, after that tournament or after that year, I moved to Norway. So it was a big thing for me, and good timing to play well, so to say. And also to see the kind of the beginning of the growth in media in Finland with the women's football, I mean, and of course it started already 2005 when they were in the Euros for the first time. But I mean, this home tournament made it even bigger. And I think I can't even describe how big thing it is for me to get to represent Finland, because it is the biggest thing for me, and like especially when living outside Finland, it's so nice to get to the camps with the girls, get to speak some Finnish, and like I said, our Helmarit team spirit is something totally different to anything else, and I'm just so grateful that for all these years that I've been having a chance to be in that team.
Yeah, I think the strength of the current Helmarit team is there for everyone to see, both physically, mentally, and as you said, with the team spirit. That's something that you guys should take immense credit for. I mean, all your hard work and what you guys do has allowed lots of young girls to dream about what they can achieve in football and in life. And when we talk about dreams, Tinni, I mean, when you were a little girl kicking a ball around in Oulu, did you ever dream that you would be walking along the red carpet with your partner Emily at the Presidential Palace for the Independence Day party? I mean, how was that experience back in 2015?
Oh, that was very, very special evening, of course, and something that I absolutely never ever thought I would be doing, but such a big honor and such a big thing for me and for all my family and my partner's family, of course. Probably the biggest honor that you can have in Finland. I mean,
yeah, like the whole country watches that on TV.
Yeah.
You know who's coming through the door next. It must have been. I can just imagine your family all gathered around the telly just to wait to watch you come through the door and shake hands with the president. That must have been so cool.
It was, yeah. I remember I played in Germany at the time, in Bayern Munich, and we actually had a game on that day. So of course, first when I got the invitation, I was like, okay, I can't make it to this fine independence event because we have a game. But then I started to think about it, like, seriously, this is a once in a lifetime thing. This is something bigger than football. And then I was like, okay, I'll ask our coach what he thinks. And I explained what this Independence Day, first of all, means to us. It's different than too many other countries because we have actually been needed to fight for the independence, and it's still quite fresh. I mean, it's so I think our coach realized that in Bayern, and I was asking, like, what do you think? Like, of course, if you say no, we need you at the game, I will be here, no problem. But luckily he realized how big thing it was for me and my family, and let me go. And but of course I was a bit nervous at the President's Palace and thinking about our game. But luckily we won that game, so I didn't need to have any regrets on that, missing that game.
I can just imagine you pulling your mobile phone out of your clutch bag or something just to check the Bayern Munich score every 5 minutes when you're waiting to shake hands with the president of the Republic of Finland. That's kind of funny. But,
no, I didn't do that actually. I wanted to fully focus and concentrate on that final event, and then afterwards I checked the result. Yeah.
So what about dreams for the future? I mean, Helmarit kicked off their World Cup qualifying campaign with a win over Slovakia, a game in which you guys looked really, really strong. I mean, how do you feel about your chances of qualification from a group that also contains Ireland, Georgia, and our old friends Sweden?
Yeah, and Slovakia. Yeah, it's a tough group for sure. Of course, Sweden is number one favorite, but I mean, we weren't that lucky to get Republic of Ireland and Slovakia as well, because they're probably the toughest from their pots. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like we saw already, Sweden only won Slovakia 1-0. We were struggling with Slovakia, but I think it's all about 3 points this this group, and it's every single game is going to be important. But absolutely, we have a chance. Like, it's almost easier to go as an underdogs. I mean, everyone is waiting for Sweden to win clearly this group, and I mean, we don't even need to win the group. Still, being number 2 would be really good to get to the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think it's quite interesting to feel the buzz growing a little bit. Like we've started to do a little bit more focus on the women's game. There's so much football around that trying for me to follow Wimbledon and Asiko and England and Finland, it has my head spinning. But we're trying to focus a little bit more on Helmarit for sure. And Keke's with his Instagram account is highlighting things that are going on both for the national team and the players overseas, and also in the Tinja-Riikka as well. I don't know. It feels like there's the momentum and buzz is going to build, and based on what the men did this summer, hopefully that buzz picks up again for the Helmarit in 2022 as well. I think it will. The country likes to get behind its national teams when they're at these big competitions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I need to say, it's so good and important that guys like you are interested in female football and showing that it is very good entertainment and good quality as well, because we need more platforms to get people realize that actually women also play good football. And so I want to say thanks to you guys, and keep it up.
I think a lot of people, you hear them saying that women's football is not the same as men's football, and people should stop comparing the two directly. But one thing they like about the women's game is that it's more honest, and people, the women are not rolling around holding their ankle when no one's touched them. It's a bit more like football should be.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to hear that, and I mean, it's so much about the facilities, and if you watch women's game in some poor stadium at poor pitches, like it can't even look good, even though the level would be good. I mean, it's so much about the facilities, and it's so good and important that has become better. So more and more people, like I said, they realize that, actually they do play good football. It doesn't have to be the same kind of than men's football. Of course, physically we're not the same. It can't be the same, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't be still a good football and entertaining football.
Yeah, I mean, you say there about bringing the facilities up to an equal level, Tinni, and that brings us on to our last point that you yourself are at the forefront for the quest for equal pay for Finnish international players, and you achieved this in 2019 when Paloliitto announced that Helmarit players would be paid the same as the Huuhkajat players for representing Finland. I mean, how important was that for you in ensuring that men and women are treated as equals in football and society? How does that achievement rank in what you've been doing throughout your life?
Yeah, of course, that's something that I'm extremely proud of, and obviously I wasn't alone there. We had a good captain's team in Helmarit who were all behind this, and yeah, it is a big thing. For me personally, I was struggling a bit because my nature is like, don't complain, just be happy what you have, and focus on your sports. And that's kind of how I'm raised, and how I'm like, what my attitude is. But then at some point I realized, okay, this is a fight that we need to do also for the future generations. We don't do it just for ourselves and just for this team. This is not for me. This is something that someone needs to do. And okay, now someone decided that it's our turn. We need to do it right now, right here. And then it was easy that we all got committed to it as a team, as a captain group. And of course the help that we got from Huuhkajat players, Tim Spar, for example, and they were raising their voices and saying like, yes, women should get the same than we are. So that was big thing, and forever grateful for them for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kudos to you guys for fighting that fight, and also, as you said, to Tim Sparv and the Huuhkajat players who backed you, and also we have to say kudos to Paloliitto for realising that it's a move they needed to make. I mean, Paloliitto has gone another step and rebranded the Naistenliiga to be called Kansallinen Liiga, thus removing the gender-based prefix for the league. I mean, was this also an important step in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely. Hats off for Paloliitto. I mean, they have been doing some really good work lately, and important work that has been noticed outside the Finland as well. And it's important that we are all in this together, that we are showing we are one family, one Finnish football family, and everyone are important.
Yes. So you kind of, I guess you said your nature was not really to fight those fights, or just to sort of be happy with your lot. But I think we have to mention that as well as your achievements on the pitch, I need to say congratulations to you and your election to the board of the Football Players Association of Finland. You really are the flag waver now. I mean, what does your role on the board entail, and is this another way for you to ensure that women and girls are not underrepresented when we're talking about football in Finland?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of my goals, and why I decided to say yes to this challenge. And I mean, it's not just women and girls. It's football player in general in Finland, like how we could raise the awareness and the respect in the society generally. How to get people realize that playing a football is a job as well as any other jobs, and we have a lot of work to do on that. So I was absolutely honored to be asked for this new challenge.
Good luck with all your work over there, and we've kept you for quite a while, Tinni, but we just want to say, a huge thank you for you taking the time to speak to us, and also thank you for your continued efforts and your outstanding performances for the Finnish national team. You really are a role model for any young girls who want to follow their dream of playing football at the highest level. It's amazing what you've achieved so far, and what you continue to achieve, and what we're absolutely sure you'll go on to achieve in the future. I mean, all of us, myself and Mark and the rest of us at the Finnish Football Show, really look forward to cheering on the Helmarit in the games later this month against Georgia and Ireland. And we're really excited to see who we draw in the Euro finals next summer. And after that damn COVID made us miss out on some travelling last year, I'm personally quite pleased that the finals are here in England. So I'll definitely be getting my tickets and coming along to some stadiums to cheer you guys on. So kiitos, Tinni. It's been absolutely fantastic to speak to you today.
Kiitos. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Tinni.
This was my pleasure. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you on another Finnish Football Show soon.